Mischievous Duo podcast. Today we have just ourselves.
Great intro. Great intro. So enthusiastic.
You know what? I think I've learned to always introduce the guests. So that's why I was like, I felt like we had someone mentally. I was gonna say like you.
Yeah,
But I was like,
you don't need
wait.
to introduce me.
I was like, Simran? Maybe not. So Simrana. Hi, Simrana. How are you this morning?
Great.
Wow,
Great.
we've had such a morning, and it's
I
only
know.
like
9:30.
9:35. Yeah.
Well, how did it start? Let's see.
Well, for me, it started by dropping a large iced coffee on a carpet that my mom still has not seen, so I have to give her a warning. And then for Simran,
Well, I brought copies for me and Diana, and then we ended up, someone knocked into us and dropped Diana's copies on the side. Spent
It's
our
o-
morning
it's
cleaning
okay.
up coffee messes.
thankfully at the university they have.
Paper towel like cleaning supplies. It's right there.
No, I was gonna say a coffee place, but
Oh.
sure, that too.
Yeah, but it's not the best coffee place. How much did you pay for this?
5 something.
Yeah, see for like, come on.
I know, and it's like nothing. But honestly, it's gonna do for now. I might go to Tim's and buy some coffee again after.
Yeah, because you don't like caramel, right?
No, you. Oof.
It's not
Too much.
you,
It's
relax.
too much. It's all sugar.
Not really. You try it.
How is caramel made, Simran?
Okay, I know it's sugar, but I don't add that much sugar into it. Like, it's still regular coffee. It just has a shot of caramel in it.
Bruh, you're such a white person without being a white person. It's
I
crazy.
am not a white. Okay, bro, if you're trying to call me whitewashed, then don't, because I am not a whitewashed person.
What are we talking about today?
Alright, guys. Well, today our episode, or not our yeah, that is our episode. Today our topic is about hangouts. Do we like hanging out or no? Or like plans or no plans? So, do you like hanging out or no?
What? What do you mean? Do you like hanging out or no?
Do you rather have plans or
Simran,
no plans?
Exactly. You see, you have to report it the proper way.
Oh my god, it's 9:30 in the morning, okay? And it's been quite a morning.
I guess. Well, for me, I would say, I like plans, because anywhere I go, I usually tell my parents, honestly. So I'm like, and they would ask me like, what are you doing? How long are you there for? And this and that. So I've just by default, like, always been the kind of person to be like, we have to know what's happening 100%. And then when there are instances that plans changes, sometimes I feel uncomfortable when plans change. I don't know why.
Because I like having plans too, so I can tell my mom, like, oh yeah, this is who I'm going with, this is where we're going, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, that way I kind of know what time I'll be coming home to, so I can just be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is where I'm going, I'll be home around this time. So I feel like, I guess when plans do change, then that timeline changes as well, and then I guess it comes to me like time, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I'll be staying out a little more, or that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom may not be like a biggest fan about that.
Yeah, no, I know, like, if I was to tell my dad, like, we're going for coffee, and then last second you're like, oh, we're doing something else, and then he finds out, he's gonna be like, why'd you lie? I'm like, I did not lie, it's just plans changed last second. So, to not look like a liar, I try to not change plans at all. If they do change, then they change, and I usually, like, keep my parents, like, let them know, like, hey, actually, I'm gonna be longer, or, like, we're doing this, just to, like, kind of have an idea. I think the main reason for them to even ask is just for safety reasons. It's not for anything else.
Just so we know, so they know where our whereabouts are in case something happens. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you prefer plans then?
I mean, yes, 100%. Most likely, yes. But I mean, sometimes if something does come up like spontaneously, I guess.
How about those events that have not been planned? Do you find those more fun than the ones that have been planned?
Slightly.
Okay.
Like, not too crazy. I mean, I kind of hang out with the same people all the time, so it's not like there's anything new about it. But I guess when it's like unplanned, it's like it just happens all of a sudden. So it gets a little bit more exciting.
I'm trying to get Simran to come to this concert with me, but she's working.
Yeah, and then as always, Diana just has a way to like drag me to places.
So now she's gonna what is it called? Persuade? She's gonna persuade is the word?
Yeah.
Persuade her manager.
Not my manager. Basically, it's like if I can leave in like 2 hours early, that's about it.
Okay.
Nothing
You know what?
too
I have to take a
crazy.
look because I might actually be on a flight on Thursday night.
My guy.
I'm pretty sure it's the Friday, but there's just a double check, honestly.
This is Diana. Makes plans but doesn't even know when she's leaving. Good job. Good job.
Wait.
Yeah. Diana, she like dragged me to this one party like a couple months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then she told me about it. No, she had been talking about that for a month, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go. And then she
No,
did.
it is Friday. I'm leaving Friday, so.
Okay. Well, can I get back to my story then?
Sorry, Simran. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it took Diana a month to tell me that like there's this party, you need to come. Like you're going. Not even, oh, can you come? You're coming, Simran. And I'm like, no, I'm not coming. Like I don't want to go.
Oh, the CBSA one, yeah.
Yeah. And then on the day of, I'm like, fine, I'll go.
Was it the day off that you agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally a few hours.
I at least
before.
had like Munira with me, so I wasn't gonna be like all sad
Yeah.
and like going by myself.
Like, I guess for me, for that was like, I don't know anyone besides you, and I knew you were gonna be like busy helping out. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Sitting by myself.
But I didn't. But yeah, exactly. At least like you had her. Otherwise, like
I
you
mean-
would probably would have been bored for the first hour.
I was bored for the first hour because
Even
I had
when she was
literally
there?
Yeah, because I didn't know Munira. Like that was
Oh.
the first time I met her.
True. You kind of heard of her from me, right?
Yeah, like I
Prior?
had heard of her, but I
Yeah.
had no idea who this person was. So it's like, okay, so I'm with this person. Like Diana, hurry up! I'm bored. You told me I wouldn't be
Do
bored.
you have any specific questions regarding this topic today?
Let's see, get to know ourselves better, what we prefer, what we not prefer.
Wow.
Yeah, because like no, with you have certain like adventurous, I guess, like plans, and I'm always like, no, I don't want to do those because
I don't feel like
know.
I don't feel like I do though.
Well, like, you're always talking about skating, and that's somewhat adventurous, nothing too
Oh
crazy.
yes, I wanna go skating, but or is it no, not skate.
Yeah,
Skating, yeah, skating. I keep
Yeah.
on saying skiing, but it's not skiing, it's skating.
No, skating.
No, I want to go skating, but I have no one to go with.
Yeah, because I don't want to freaking embarrass myself. Knowing you'll
No
pick-
joke, if we still have snow when I come from Easter, like next week, I am going skating.
Okay.
Like I have my like, it's the like I literally spent like over $100 on the skates, and I've only worn them like 2 times I think. Once the first year that I got them, once the following year because I went skating with JD and our other friend group,
Yeah.
and since then, so it's been another year, I have not worn them.
Yeah.
So I
see,
I find it a waste for them to like be sitting in the garage just there, you know.
I mean, it is.
And it's like it's a new hobby too. Like it could be a lot of fun, and you want to take advantage of like the weather conditions. So, and I don't, but I want to. But then my friends are boring, so.
Okay, it's not about boring. It's just I don't know how to skate, so it's like I'm gonna embarrass
No,
myself.
me too. It's not like I'm good either. Oh, Nav just passed.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. We figured it out.
We had an issue. We were not able to hear ourselves with like our headphones. So Simran was like, "Oh, is Nav here?" I was like, "Why?" She's like, "So he can help us because like he's an IT specialist essentially, and he helped us initially with the equipment." And yeah, I was like, whatever we know so far, he would know as well. It's gonna be the same stuff, and we figured it out in the end. Although it took us some time for sure.
I mean, yeah, but like, yeah. Okay.
So plans, no plans, boom.
Okay.
What do you
I
have?
have another question for you.
Okay, ask me.
Do your parents have a hand into how long you can be out for? Like, do you have a curfew?
What do you think, Simran?
I know you do. Your dad would always, yeah, if you're not home about 10:30, your dad always calls you.
Not even. If like my dad notices that I'm not home and he hears that I'm out hanging out, he'll call me right then. Like I could have left maybe like 10 minutes before he came like to the house. And then he's like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I just left the house." He's like, "Okay, how long are you staying out for?" I'm like, 2 hours. And then if I'm there for like 3 hours, he'd be like, "What took you so long?" Like, oh my God.
No,
man.
and sometimes if you're taking forever to come out, and then I'm just parked right outside.
Also,
like,
you
by
see
your
my dad.
And then your dad would come home, and then he'll be like, "So, you guys are hanging?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're hanging out."
Wow, okay, to my defense, there's no defending.
Yeah, there is no defending. You're always late, and Well,
Okay,
yeah.
well, yeah, maybe,
We've
okay.
been over this.
5 to 10, 15 minutes maybe.
5, 10? Hell no, my guy. 20 minutes at least.
No, Simran, 20 minutes. Are you
I'm
joking?
the one who's waiting.
I don't know what you've been waiting on, but I do not take that long.
Yes, you do.
It takes me 5 minutes to like find shoes and put them on. And then 10 minutes if I'm like putting perfume and I need to look at myself along with putting my shoes. So, you know, like you literally wait no more than 10 minutes. Like, I don't know where you're like bringing up all these words from.
Are you sure? Because I'm the one who sits outside your house in my car and that's all the past.
Do you want me to check the cameras just so I can like tell you minute by minute?
Yeah, go for it. Why are we doing this? We literally talked about this like 2 episodes.
Yeah, we did. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, but
yeah.
I do have a, well, it's not a curfew per se. Like, it's not a specific time. But usually when I'm out just hanging out, like essentially like in Albanian household, if you're having too much fun and you're having fun like every day,
then
you're not allowed to have fun. Like you're supposed to have like fun like once a week and that's it, kind of. Like that's the mentality.
That was my life a few years ago.
So in this case, like if I hang out with Simran like on the Wednesday and I hang out with her for like 2-3 hours, and literally the next day I hang out with JD, the Thursday, and then the day after I hang out with Simran again, they will be like, what the fuck? Like, why? That will be like my parents being like, why do you need to see them all the time? Or like literally this is what I tell them. Like, for example, JD, I don't see her like as often as you. We try to see each other like once a week, but sometimes it's longer than that. So then because I hang out with you so much, my parents are like, I'll be like, oh, I'm hanging out with JD. And they're like, oh, didn't you like see her like 2 days ago? I'm like, no, that was Simran. I haven't seen JD in like 2-3 weeks. So they're like, oh, okay. So then when I tell them like a time duration, like of how long I haven't seen them, they're like, they find it a bit more reasonable. But they for sure like find it a bit weirded out because they're like, my mom would be like, instead of going with coffee for Simran, don't you want to hang out with me and grab coffee with me? I'm like, Mom, I love you, but no.
I can't tell you stuff I want to tell. I imagine you saying that you. No, that would not be fun.
But yeah, so I'm usually out for like 2 to 3 hours, but like kind of because like my parents since like a young age kind of like allowed me that much. But then even now, I don't like being out for too long because I get bored really easily.
Yes, you do.
So if I'm hanging out with Simran, although I love her, like we usually hang out to get something done. So maybe it's like the podcast for now. Maybe it's like grabbing coffee. And grabbing coffee means like we gossip for about an hour and that's it. Maybe we grab lunch. So then we eat for like an hour. We gossip for an hour.
Okay, no,
it's not gossip. It's more like just like people call it. It's just normal talking, whatever. But we talk about life.
That's what I was.
And then but then we can stay on call for like hours because we're usually like multitasking. Like I'll be cleaning like my room, I'll be doing an assignment or something. Simran will be out doing other stuff.
I'm sometimes helping Dajana with her stuff.
But like we're not actively the whole time talking to each other. The only time we would do that is
if something came up.
If something like really important came up and like we have to talk about it like right away. So yeah, so I'm usually out for no more than 2 to 3 hours, and if it's like a curfew as in like a specific time, like my parents will be like, I think after like 8 p.m. they'll be like, where are you going? Like, why are you going so late? Especially now because the sun goes down a lot faster.
Well, now it goes down like later.
Yeah, but okay, I'm
you
talking
mean like
general.
before, like winter time?
So winter, it's still winter in a sense, Simran.
Like it's spring, like so-called spring.
Yes, but like, does it look like spring to you?
No.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, like, if the sun goes down by like 8 or something, before 8, it usually goes down like 6:30, 7.
4 to 4, yeah.
Basically, if it's dark out and I'm going out, they'll be like, what? And if I am going out, like, let's say partying with a group or something, I literally tell them, like, ideally a week ahead to prepare them for it. But usually to, like, 100% know that I'm going, I tell them at least 2 weeks ahead. So then they know, like, what's happening. I kind of bring it up. I always tell my mom first before my dad. And I'm like, Mom. And then, like, if I see my mom's reaction being, like, kind of reasonable, kind of, like, okay, then, like, I'm ready to tell my dad after. But if she's the one getting mad at me after, I'm like, yo, if she's getting mad, imagine my dad.
Like, for, like, that CBSA party, right? Like, since I made up my mind a few hours ago, then me telling my mom, like, so, by the way, I'm going to go get ready for this event. Diana's helping.
Yeah, last
She
second,
was
no.
not happy about that, but it is what it is.
No,
Or
like
it was
last
what it
second,
is.
like my dad came into the house, and I had not told my dad. Or I remember, I think I remember telling him like the day prior maybe, and I told my mom like a week ahead or something, but then I reminded her again the day prior. Essentially, so she kind of like tells him, and then he comes to the house. He's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going to this event." He's like, "No, you're not going." I was like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "No," and I was like, "Dad, I'm volunteering there." And I was volunteering, but it's a party, so we had to look presentable. So I looked really good in a sense, because I was wearing a mini
Basically, you were
skirt.
dressed up.
I was dressed
It was
up.
a dress, not a
It was
mini
sorry, a mini dress. So
Oh.
because of that, he's like, "Who goes volunteering with a mini dress?" And I'm like, "Dad, I promise you, it's a party, but it's for the school. Like, let me go. Like, like I need to drive this other girl as well. So like, don't." And he's like, "Okay, like Donaldo will come and like pick you up." I'm like, "How is he gonna pick me up when I'm the one driving?" He's like, "Oh, he's gonna like come with you and like check in on." I'm like, "You are." And Donaldo came for like
Yeah.
Donaldo's my brother. He like came in for like 5-10 minutes, and then he left after, because it's like it's nothing like crazy like what. But this is what it's like to live with strict parents.
That reminds me of that on your birthday a few years ago. Oh boy, can I tell that story? No, okay. But that was quite a yeah.
Yeah, that was a night to remember.
It was a night.
When I get married, I'm telling that like that's the first story I tell my husband. Like when we get married, like the night of, I'll be like, "Let me tell you about this funny story."
Watch me be at your wedding, and then I'll give the speech and be like, "So, by the way, this is for the time Diana used to, I guess, rebel away."
Oh my god.
Oh, that was probably one of our best memories, if you think about it.
It was a funny memory. It wasn't one of the best ones.
I mean, it was something we all laughed about that night. We did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay, like our listeners are going to be so lost. Like, what are they talking about?
Sorry, guys. Yeah, moving on from that topic. Simran, sorry, how about you, though? Do you have a curfew?
I don't think so. Like, I know a few years ago, like, yeah, mom would be like, "Oh yeah, you better be home around this time." Like, she used to be picky, and if I were to come home later, like, I would.
But at the same time, you're at that age that she's like, okay, she's immature, she knows what she's doing. Like, I'm not.
Like now, I guess she doesn't care too much about what time I come home. Like, she'll always say, "Oh, like yeah, okay, I gotta say this in Punjabi if I gotta put this in English." And like she'll always say, "Oh yeah, like time nal kar aa jain," basically means like get home at like a certain time. So it's like
don't stay out too late.
Basically, be home before 12. That's essentially what she's trying to say. And usually I am pretty good at that. Like not because like I have to, but I feel like whoever I hang out with, I'm usually home at a decent time, like 11:30.
Yeah,
like I'm home.
I'm bored by that time, honestly.
Exactly.
Like anywhere I'm at, like if it hits 12, like we're either having the time of our lives and that's why I'm staying, or I'm like looking at the clock and being like, "Are we leaving?"
Basically, yeah, because I feel like I pass out around 11:30, so at that time I'm just like wherever I am, like I'm ready to just basically sleep. So it's like let's go home type of thing. And then, but no, I'm pretty good with that. I mean, yes, like you said, if I'm having the best time of my life, then yeah, I'll stay out. But nothing crazy. I think I usually do come home before 1:30 for sure. So I guess I don't really have a curfew. It's just me.
Man, I'm just thinking, like with our university first year friend group, I feel like it was like no planning. It was like, let's hang out.
Everything was spontaneous.
And I was like, oh, that is so odd. To me, when people hang out and have no plans, at the time as well, I thought like, oh, they are so cool because they can have fun without planning stuff,
Yeah, and I found that really like odd because I wasn't used to that either. So when something spontaneous did come and I really wanted to go, I'd be like, oh, like how do I tell my mom? Like what is she gonna say? Like she's gonna get mad.
Yeah,
that's literally what my reaction would be. And sometimes I would like fight her for like, come on, mom, like let me go. Like
actually,
I want to go.
I'll bring up a funny story. I remember specifically in junior high, I had moved cities, so from Edmonton to St. Albert. And in St. Albert, like I went to at this junior high that I went to, I instantly was like the talk of the school, not of the school, like of my year, because they're like, oh, there's a new student, like who is she? People wanted to get to know me and whatnot. So I hanged out with what were kind of, I'm not sure if they were in a sense, but like the cool kids right away. And I remember asking actually this girl as well to teach me how to swear because swearing was cool and I wanted to be extra cooler.
You did not.
I did. I no joke. I was like, what? Because they were swearing all the time and I was like, what do those words mean? And I felt like a fob. But I had been in the country for at least like 2.5 years, you know. But I was a kid too, you know. It's different. You grow up hearing swears, and that's how you understand what they are. But like for me, it's like no one teaches you swears. Like, at what? Why would they teach you swears at school? Whatever. But I specifically remember we had our graduation for grade 9, and I dressed up, looked nice. Those photos are crazy. I was 1 minute late to take the all like the photo with everyone. 1 minute late, my guy. I started walking. I'm like, wait for me. They already took the picture, so out. And then after the party, they had planned out. I was with my group, and the other group was with the guys, and they're like, "Hey, so do you guys want to go to Nita's Pizzas?" And that's like a
Pizza place?
pizzeria, yeah, pizzeria, and it's really nice. They're like, "Let's go there, eat, and then hang out after." And I was like, when they said that, I was like, "Oh, I want to go hang out with them." And so I think I called my parents, being like, "Can I go?" They're like, "No." And I'm like, "Please, no." I'm like, "Please," because I'm thinking this is like my last resort. Like these are like my friends that I have to kind of stay friends with because I'm going to the same high school with them. And like if I don't go with them, I feel like, or they'll find me weird for not being able to come, you know. And then I was like, "Oh, dang it, I can't come." And I was so sad. They could see that I was sad, and they were like, "It's fine, and like we'll like do it another time, or like we'll hang out with them." But I was like, "Dang, that was my moment." I think that was the first time in a very long time. Actually, maybe it's just the first time that I hated having such strict parents because I was like, "Who cares? Like, it's just hanging out, like just grabbing pizza and you know."
I feel like for me, when it came to that, like, I knew my parents were strict, so I never really like bothered making plans or like try to even like go out. It's like, oh, like,
Yeah,
my
I wouldn't.
parents.
I wouldn't specifically myself make plans. I would have
Yeah,
others
so I
do.
was like, oh yeah, like my parents are not gonna be okay with that. Like, why should I even bother, right? And then I remember, like, so like the same age, like basically junior high, or not even junior high, like high school time, basically. Like if I wanted to like hang out with Michelle, not like they would say no. Like I would hang out with them, like outside of school,
Yeah.
but like very time limited. It's like, oh yeah, you need to be home by like this time. I'm like, okay, so whatever, reasonable. And then I remember for like our high school graduation, right? So it was like the grad and everything, and there was a after party. And I remember me and my friends, we wanted to go there, and we did, but like I only told my mom about that party, like, and my mom never told my dad anything about it. So like my dad thought I was just basically out for like the whole grad thing, like that's just how it was.
Yeah.
He never knew it was a party, but like my mom knew.
Yeah.
But then I also knew like my mom will be there around 11 p.m. to like pick me up, and and she was right there at 11 p.m. ready to like
On the dot.
basically to pick me up, and she's calling me like, come out.
Yeah, so it was like 11:01. She's like, "Where are you? Why are you still there?"
And then like she's calling me like, oh, like you're coming. I'm like, come on, like let me stay. I'm having fun, but like I also knew this is it.
I've had so many instances where I was like, just let me stay a little bit more, you know. Yeah, no, I had my mom be like, "Hey, are you like ready?" Like I would be at my friend's house, and then I wasn't driving at the time. She's like, "Are you ready? Like so I can pick you up?" I'm like, "No, like we're still hanging out." She's like, "What are you still hanging out with? Like you've been there for like 2 hours." I'm like, "Mom, like it's like we weren't," and I give her like all these reasonings as to why like whatever we had to finish didn't finish. And then she's like, "Okay, I'm coming to pick you up right now. I don't care." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" But my mom, they've been a lot more reasonable. Like my parents, I think it's just like as we grow up in age, like we know for ourselves, like one, what friends we're hanging out with, so we wouldn't be hanging out with the wrong people. Two, that we're not. Me personally, I'm not the type of person that like likes to hang out for long periods of times with an individual. So like I usually hang out with you to get something done, completed, and then that's it. You know. So it's either like we plan something out, and if we don't plan something out, then you're either like the best person in the world, and I can have fun with you for hours. But that's really hard.
Yeah, because I know even when we like go like clubbing, for example, like not like we go all the time.
You remember that one time we went for your birthday? I'm not the type of person that like loves the club energy, but like I remember for your birthday I was there, and I was like, my goal was like stay with Simran, make sure she's good, have fun. It's her birthday. or not even, was it? It was.
It was.
Yeah, it was for your
that was the
birthday.
last time we all went
And
clubbing.
then
Yeah.
and then I only stayed maybe like 20 minutes max
At
because
the
my
club,
brother
yeah.
had come to pick me up. He even asked me like, hey, do you want to go now? I told him like around 12. But we went up later, so we didn't stay up that late.
Like, yeah, you left early, and I remember.
I left early, but I was like, oh, whatever. Honestly, it's not my scene. I don't. It's fine. And I remember actually my dad asking me as well one time when I asked him like, oh, I want to go clubbing. He's like, oh, with who? I was like, with Simran. He's like, so what are two girls gonna do at the club?
I mean,
And it's valid
it's
because.
a valid
And then I
question.
thought about it. I was like, oh, you know what? Just hang out. I'm like, but like, you know, the club energy has changed so much. And not that I'm saying that we're old, but at the same time, you know, like, if we go grab shots, we drink, then who is gonna drive us? You know,
yeah,
usually
that's
like
basically what we plan out. Like, who's gonna drive us?
who's gonna
yeah.
drive us? You know, that idea. And then I feel safer having a guy there.
Yeah,
One,
that's-
because like we're friends with them. Two, because it's a guy.
Yeah.
Not like if someone was to touch me, like I would punch them. Simran knows this.
Oh, I know.
But
those,
yeah, so I like having like big group of people, but it's hard to make plans with a big group of people because I myself might cancel last minute, you know.
Yeah.
So then I'll be like the person that made the plan, and then I don't come, and then no one knows each other. And
You did that. I remember. Remember first year, university. It was after the end of our first semester.
I did
was-
not plan it though.
I thought it was you. who
Was it
planned
me?
Yes, because I remember.
know.
No, because
I helped plan it.
Okay, this is how I remember it. It was like what, the 10, 11 of us.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we should all do something like after finals, like before the new semester, like
Yeah.
out of school type of thing. And that was
Yeah.
like our first, I guess, hangout after like not in school.
Yeah. All
And-
as a group.
Yeah, as a group. And then I remember I think you're the one who really wanted it.
I really wanted it
Yeah.
because I thought it was gonna be a lot of fun, and it was the arcades.
Oh yeah, the
and
rec room.
The rec room, and I've never been, and I was like, oh, let's go to the rec room, like this, you know. And then last minute I had to cancel.
Yeah, and then you were the only one who didn't show up while everyone was there, and we all were all having
No,
the
because last minute my dad was like, you're not going. So it wasn't like even, and you can't even say that to people that are like white and like in university, because they're gonna be like, oh, you have strict parents. Oh, that's so annoying. Like, how is life? And I'm like, stop talking to me. You know, so I don't remember. I think I gave the excuse of like,
I think you
I'm
worked
sick.
later, or yeah, something like that. I can't
or I
remember
was
that
working. I don't
either.
know, but like Simran and my main people like were aware. Ideally, like I told them.
Yeah, I
after.
remember we would
'Cause
like
I
snap
sent
you.
I sent like a picture of me in a mask. I'm like I'm not sick. I'm not, you know, like I just sadly I can't go now. And I was really upset that
Yeah,
time
you were.
because like if you help with the planning and you put in the time, you want to see it, right? You don't want to. But actually, after I was so happy after we went to the rec room together with
yeah.
Logan. I was like, wow, it would have been so boring. Like the rec room to me is so boring.
It's not fun for sure. Yeah.
Well, maybe it was busy when we went, but it was like
I don't know. I felt like the only time we had fun was
it was
like
like by the car thing.
yeah, the car
racing thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
I
was a
feel
blast.
like out of that entire night, that was probably
And
like
keep
the
in
10
mind,
minutes
keep
we
in
were.
mind that was like 10 minutes only
Yeah.
out of like the hour and a half that we were there, and we took pictures.
Oh
like-
yeah,
like-
we literally
like
spent
little-
30 minutes.
Like little kids, we spent all our like tickets or whatever it is
A lot of the leftover stuff, we just went to the.
on that. Yeah, like it was like I was like, what is like I like that we made it as a plan so we can because myself now have an experience with it, like I know what it is like, so I can say like, oh yeah, I've been at the rec room. Do I like it? Personally, I would not go again for fun. I would go if like my little cousins want to go,
Yeah.
but it would be like a, you know, just kind of for them rather than for me kind of event.
Yeah, because it really isn't that exciting. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So I guess we kind of did touch base in it, but do you want to elaborate?
Do you want to turn your light off?
I will, yeah. Do you always go through with your plans? I know you said you do sometimes cancel, and you do cancel. I know you do.
If I
Well,
make-
what's the reason?
if my parents.
Yeah, that's literally your
What
reason.
do
Yeah,
you mean?
I asked and I'm like, wait, I know this. It's because you're dad.
Yeah, but
your
the
mom.
viewers don't know it.
Yeah, the
And
viewers don't.
the only time that I would cancel plans is if like an emergency were to happen, like I have a, you know, and they can happen, or maybe like my parents never tell me like when we're going to like a family gathering, like or dinners. We usually have them like once a week, so maybe like I promised Simran I'll hang out with her the Saturday, and then Saturday evening we're going there, so then I have to get ready, so then there's no time. So then my two best friends, JD and Simran, already know this. Like I may cancel or may like change times when it comes to the hangouts, but like it's not like I'm gonna cancel and not hang out with you kind of thing. Like that's different because others like I know that like they would cancel and they're like I'm not seeing you again. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah, and the other one would be like because of, like I guess that's with my parents again. Like it's they don't tell me like if we're going somewhere or maybe last minute they're like oh no don't do this or don't or whatever it may be. It's not frequent anymore. And if I cancel plans like for myself, I usually no like we'll cancel together. Like literally me and Simran one day were like, yo, let's like no, we're not coming in for the podcast thing because like we're too tired or like we like postpone it by like an hour, 2 hours or whatnot.
Yeah, and sometimes we're both not like feeling it. We can like tell, and one of us like, do we really want to do this? And I'm like,
Yeah,
nah.
at that point I don't think it's like canceling, but
It's just we're not into it. It's like there was the point when we're not gonna have fun or enjoy our time together.
yeah, exactly like that. How about you, Sim?
Yeah, like I'm pretty good with like going through plans, unless of course something comes up or I'm sick. Those are I feel like the only two reasons why
Oh yeah,
I
sick
don't
as well. Yeah.
I
Oh,
like cancel or like reschedule.
I don't think I've canceled much when I've been sick. Like I even like if I'm like I have like the worst stomach pain, like I feel like I still
yeah,
can.
and then I tell you I'm like you need to go to the doctor and you never do. We've again talked about this, but still.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But like I feel like with me sick is like when I'm actually just passed out, like I can't like I don't have the energy to even like move. That's when I cancel. But yeah, I feel like those are the two main reasons.
Actually,
for
you've
me.
canceled on me quite a few times lately.
Yeah, and you know all those times I've been sick.
I know, but it felt weird.
I know
being
because I
canceled
haven't
on.
been sick like that like in a very very long time.
No, but it just felt weird. I was like, this is what people feel like when I cancel on them. Wow.
Wow. See, now you just know.
It's karma. It's coming.
Yeah, karma is a bitch, Diana.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Okay, I have another question for you.
Okay. Ask
What
away.
what does your typical hangout looks like? Again, I
You
already know this.
You know what's funny? On the first episode, we talked about our perfect date, and it's like grabbing coffee. And for me, my usual hangout is grabbing coffee.
Yeah, that's literally what we do.
I think it's just because like it's my norm. It's like there's nothing like off about grabbing coffee with anyone. So for me, my usual hangout is grabbing coffee and chatting, or grabbing like
Dinner.
with you. It's mostly grabbing coffee, and then with JD, it's usually grabbing dinner.
Yeah, we only
And
grab
then we
dinner like
switch-
once a while.
Once a while, and like with Jay, we're usually grabbing coffee if we're like gonna sit for like a long period of time and just like chat about something specific. We have like this specific hill in St. Albert that we hang out with when we are like full on chatting, like gossiping, and I'm like, oh, okay.
See, I feel like it's the opposite for us because we talk so much over like the phone and like FaceTime. I feel like all our chatting and gossiping is done through that.
Yeah,
And then when we like see each other, like actually see each other.
like when we grab lunch, I feel like what are we doing?
Yeah,
like, what are
because you I pick you up and
Yeah.
however long it takes us to like go to whatever the coffee place, dinner, like whatever it is
Keep
we're
in mind,
doing.
guys, we always plan in time we hang out to either make one TikTok or something specific for my account, and we always forget.
Oh yeah, Diana, she has like a folder on her phone which says "Make this with Simran," and I don't. Well, okay, until recently for podcast stuff, I have never been.
Yeah, right. Podcast stuff.
It's true though.
Every time I see Simran, I was like, "Hey, let's make a TikTok." Before
Yeah,
we
because we
finish."
gotta freaking advertise exactly. So I gotta jump on that boat. But anyways, typically I'm not the type of person to make TikToks, and then I would be like, oh, that's me. I'm like, oh, why?
And then for me, like I've been like slacking on that because I get, I'm like, okay, man, we don't have time. Like it's gonna take us like at least 10 minutes to have like a good one, and
then we just have a bunch of random stuff, and you still end up posting those.
actually no, I don't have anything else.
No, from
I
like the
posted
previous
most of
times.
everything.
Yeah. Look at whatever we do. You always
I'll
end up
post
posting
it. I'll
yeah,
post it.
you
Like
just
if
post
it's
it.
like if it's like funny to in my mind, I'll put like literally like my whole life story is on TikTok. So if you want to get to know me, like 1, I'm cringy. 2, I'm funny. 3, I'm cute.
I don't know about funny.
4,
she loves exposing me. She has exposed me way too much.
I've been exposing Simran a lot more now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, like, and then 5, like, it's like I show off my friends all the time, so
That's true, yeah.
I've been telling Simran, like, my TikTok has become like my new Snapchat, except I'm allowing the whole world to see it. I'm not sure if that is good.
I don't know about that either.
But what were we saying beforehand?
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, because, like, usually your typical hangout, like, while we finish talking about whatever it is that we want to talk about in, like, those 20 minutes of us being in the car to, like, get to wherever we need to go or where we're going. And then we'll get to our dinner or coffee place and we're like, okay.
You know what? You know what sucks about planning is that when you're an adult, in comparison to like when you were in high school or junior high, you have to look at your calendar now.
That's true. Yeah, that
because
is so
I
true.
look at my calendar and I'm like, I'll be like, hey, does this day work for you? And they're like, nope, I'm working. And I'm like, does this time work for you?
Nope, I'm working.
And I literally have to put people on my calendar to remind myself as well because of how many things are happening daily. Which is so weird because prior in high school and junior high, I feel like we did not have time for any of that. Like, I mean, like, we weren't doing anything. Like, we were either maybe working. I wasn't working, but some students were working in high school. And just studying, you know, like, no, and then you have the whole day to do your hobbies. Like, oh my God, like, having time to, like, you know, have fun, like, with your hobbies and such is so important. I find that I don't have time. Like, actually, for the past 2 days, I've been reading, and I've been feeling so good reading.
And I honestly did that yesterday because, like, yesterday was, like, the only day I kind of had to myself.
This book I'm reading, like, reminds me of Dajana, like, junior high / high school Dajana, like, shy, has a crush on a guy, writes, like, a note but never gives it.
Oh, I remember when you showed me that.
Oh my God, Simran, I'm exposing myself.
Yes, you are.
I was over at my cousin's yesterday, and she says, "So who's your crush?" And I'm like, "What the fuck? What do you mean?"
You should have showed them the
And
TikTok guys you have a crush on.
I asked her, what crush are you talking about? And I'm trying to think, like, what did I say on the podcast? And I didn't say anything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I think she was talking about the podcast with Dean, and I think I mentioned something about, like,
yeah, you mentioned how you've been, like, in love with, like, 3 guys or been with something
in
like
love?
that.
I don't know. Oh yeah, something like, I don't know.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
It was I was like laughing, and I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about, bruh. Like, I was like, I like myself. It's like, I need to learn to like myself first before anyone else.
Now your cousins will listen to this and be like, Dajana, so who's your crush?
They're pushing me to be like, Dajana, you know, we would be great guest speakers. And I'm like, well, what would we talk about? She's like, anything. And I'm like, shut up. Like, one of them, she knows how to rap to, like, all of those Nicki Minaj songs, and what's that? Tory Lanez? Tory Lanez, sorry. Like, she knows all those steamy songs, and, like, she's looking me in the eyes and, like, singing them out to me. I'm like, she's like, I want to put you in how many positions? And I'm like, and I look at her, I'm like, what are you talking about? And, like, she's 14, right? And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Man, okay, so, like, I have a thing, right? So if I'm cooking or whatever, cleaning,
yeah,
I like to like, put my music, like, on the TV, so it's, like, much louder, and I'm just, like, vibing my thing, jamming out. And then my brother, he would come downstairs, and then he'll put his playlist on, and then so, like, I guess both me and my brother, like, we do like listening to, like, Brown songs. And when I honestly cook and clean, I do listen to, like, my Brown playlist because it's just more hype that way. And then so my brother will come downstairs and he'll put his playlist on, and then it's basically all, like, the same songs, right? So then I'm just, like, sitting, so I'm just, like, in the back, like, you know, lip syncing, whatever. And sometimes my mom would be there, and my mom would tell my brother, oh, what type of songs are you listening? If they're mentioning, like, guns and, like, drugs and all that, whatnot. And then I'm just in the back lip syncing, and then my brother would be like, oh, tell your daughter, she's the one who's lip syncing them. And then my mom, I'm like, come on, it's just a song, like, chill. So yeah, Dad, it's just a song, like, back off of your cousins.
Do we have anything else we want to bring up?
No, I was just gonna ask you, do you have anything else that you want to say or add?
We appreciate all the feedback we get from our listeners, and we hope to get a lot more constructive feedback so we can better this podcast. That being said, for the first couple of episodes, we have specific topics planned just because we're trying to find what we want to kind of talk about and how we want to broaden this up so more listeners can kind of get an understanding on our opinions and possibly like have the same opinions. Who knows? That being said, not everyone has the same opinions, so not everyone will like listening to what we're talking about. Again, these are two best friends that share their opinions on things that they found valuable in life, as of now at least, for the first couple of episodes. So they're for sure big topics, and
like I feel like we planned those topics because generally when Diane and we do talk before this podcast even became a thing, we would always talk about these type of things because like Diana said, they bring us value.
At this point, you are like our third bestie. You know what I mean?
The listeners,
like you're listening, but like you're our third bestie because like you're getting this entertainment from us. Hopefully it's entertaining, or maybe you're like, what is this sad thing? It could be sad too. But you get to know like how we communicate as best friends with each other, what we find valuable in life as 23-year-olds, and how we will kind of change. Because I mean, we do bring up a lot about our previous years and how we've changed. I know for myself, like my values are the same. There's for sure things that I've brought up my mind to. So yeah, we do want to talk about a lot more things, like what's happening in the news, you know. But for us to in the world, for us to bring any of those things to light, we have to do our research. We don't want to go into it just like out of nowhere, being like, hey, what do you think of this? Because it's not like our, I'm gonna say hobby. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but it's not our thing to look at the news and be like, what's happening in the world. Like I might from like, let's say TikTok, like you'll bring something, I'll get an idea of what's happening, but I never go in depth, only if it's something that I truly, truly value. And then if I truly, truly value it and being passionate, some people might get it as aggressive, because I can get aggressive.
Yes.
So then it's like, do I want to start fighting on a podcast? I don't know. Probably not.
No, we do not want to fight on a podcast. So yeah,
but we will be getting guest speakers with different points of views in whatever topic we choose. So there's always going to be someone that you can hopefully relate to when you're listening to these podcasts.
And like that being said, if there's anything you guys want us to like talk about or want to see like what our opinions would be, like
if you have any ideas,
send us a DM on our Instagram, Mischievous Duo podcast. Like as usual, we'll have it in our like description. And if you don't,
look at her advertising.
Girl,
I mean, they are like listening at the podcast, right?
Yeah, obviously. So, or you can like hit us up like personal, like our personal IGs as well. I guess we can link those in the description box too. So yeah, if there's anything, just hit us up, and we'll like make an episode on it.
Yeah. So today was more of a like, let's kind of talk about this, something chill
and relax, because we are both not feeling heavy topics recently. It hasn't been our days.
No, we're feeling heavy topics and nothing like that, but
it's just they haven't been our days.
This is our like
second time recording this episode.
What do you call this? I'm trying to think of like with anime. Oh, like this is like an extra, like it's just like a filler. It's a filler.
Huh?
Like in you have like the main line, like you have the main story, and then they put fillers, something like cutesy or funny, but it's not added to like the main story. So this is like a filler. So it's more like, here's something funny about us. Yeah. It's not really exciting because we're talking about how our parents are strict and don't allow us to go out at 23 years of age.
I mean, my mom loves me. It's just I've stopped caring.
Did you just say my mom loves me?
No, I said caring. My mom like lets me.
Oh, lets me. I heard.
I mean, obviously my mom loves me.
That's why I was like, what the fuck? Because I heard my mom loves me. I was like, so do my parents. Like what?
No, my mom lets me.
That's hilarious.
Dude, this is our sense of humor these days, Diana.
So yeah, that's it for today. We hope you liked this episode, and please give us feedback. We will appreciate it. We are working on the website, and we are working on getting a new logo.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will like it.
Yeah, so we're trying to get it. We're trying to get everything really there, and hopefully by episode 10, like everything is figured out, in the clear, and we will be focusing a lot more on this podcast starting then.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.